What's up, everybody? Welcome to Among the Fins. My name is Aaron. Today we're checking out the new album Prude by the post-hardcore band Drug Church. What started out as a side project of Patrick Kindlin of Self-Defense in 2011 turned into one of the most prominent bands in the scene by 2012. Their debut album Paul Walker dropped in 2013 and was one of the most aggressive post-hardcore records that had come out in years. Their sophomore album, Hit Your Head, continued to push the boundaries with a more polished mix, but also having more crazy, chaotic instrumentals, and the lyrics were based on personal issues. Their third record that they released, Cheer, incorporated some grunge influences but still held on to their punk rock roots. Being a child of the grunge era, I instantly fell in love with this album and the band. Before 2018, I only really heard a few songs from them that didn't really stick all that much, making me look forward to the last album they released, which came out in 2022, titled Hygiene. And this is where I found that they perfected a lot of those experimentations and grunge influences that they incorporated in their last album, Cheer. Just about every single song had a solid hook, a fat riff, chimey melodies, great vocals, and lyrics that were very compelling. So when they announced a new record just 2 years after, it got fans foaming at the mouth for more, especially when they dropped Demolition Man, their first single that they released for Prude, which dives into feelings of not really having a purpose in life, with lyrics saying that there's no reason to even get out of bed. It's got a punky kind of guitar riff in the intro, and the bass guitar takes over as it goes into the verse. The chorus has a very addicting lead guitar part to it. I just honestly didn't really care that much for the mix on the vocals. Some moments it sounded really polished, other moments it sounded a little bit more raw, and it kind of fell in the middle, and it was just kind of, I don't know, it was kind of a gray area. It was just really weird. And I actually lied. The first single that they dropped was actually over a year before Demolition Man came out, titled Myopic. It touches on letting go of anger and bitterness and how a lot of people hold on to bitterness as a virtue, and the people that do that are actually pretty miserable in general. And the lyrics in this are so freaking good. The first verse is brilliant, and they went all in this time on the vocal effect, making it feel really dark. It kind of reminds me of the song Hate Me by Blue October. Verse 2 has a captivating buildup that goes into the chorus that you're going to want to hear over and over again. The melody and drums are very simple yet very powerful. They follow this up with a single Chow, which has a bit of like a punk rock surf vibe to it, at least to my ears. The vocals hang back in the mix until they push through going into the chorus, making for the big chords hit just as hard. The song has a steady progression, feeling like the tension is building up all the way to the end thanks to the steady drum beat. Slide to Me was the last single that they released for the LP, and it goes back to their more aggressive, in-your-face attitude. It's about a liquor store robbery that goes horribly wrong. The guitars are super fuzzy, and the bark vocals are the focal point of this song, along with the fun lyrics. I couldn't get enough of the little interludes that pop up here and there throughout the song and the kind of guitar section-y things. This is the first single where they really let the music breathe, and you get to really hear what they're doing in terms of songwriting, and it is absolutely brilliant. Mad Care is the opening track for the album, starting off with a little bit of feedback, making for the eruption going into the verse just a little jarring. The chorus has great hooks all the way through it. Even verse 2 will have some stuff stuck in your head. Hey Listen has a glassy guitar riff that feels pretty nostalgic. It matches really well with the lyrics, and it keeps going into the chorus where the rhythm guitar comes in really strong and the vocals become more passionate. To me, this is one of the more melancholy sounding songs on the album, and because of that, I feel like it really sets the tone a lot better than I feel like the singles did for sure. Business Ethics has a fat bass line and thunderous drums and kind of whispered vocals in the verse. The chorus is a nod to the Pixies that'll put a smile on your face along with the yelling vocals. The overall atmosphere of the song is very captivating, and it'll almost put you in a trance as it's moving into the back half of this record. The Bitters is an angry rock tune that takes me back to their very first record. The giant chorus gives me Touche Amore feels, and I'm absolutely here for it. This is easily my favorite song on the album, consisting of basically everything good that's found on all the other songs just rolled up into a 3-minute long jam session. Yankee Trails goes back to the same kind of sound that's found on their song Business Ethics. As much as I wanted to complain and whine about how they're being a little formulaic and kind of falling into this same kind of rinse and repeat songwriting style. I absolutely enjoyed this, especially the compelling chorus and the little mini bridge that pops up here and there. It's the guitar, everything about it. The guitar tone's fantastic. It's got a cool effect coloring it up a little bit. Everything about this song I feel like is going to turn out to be a fan favorite. And then that brings us to the closing track, Peer Review. Right away, the lead guitar in the intro sounded like it was going to start playing Hellsong by Sum 41. It tricked me every single time. The bass does quickly take over as it goes into the verse, though. The chorus is probably the biggest sounding thing on this record, with lyrics about struggling with judging people and kind of looking down on them and having a superiority kind of mindset. And he's talking about how, you can't really look at the person next to you and judge them when you're in the same boat as them, and we're all kind of in this together. This definitely feels like he's reached the peak of his struggles, and the band feels like it's reached the peak of their songwriting all at once, and because of that, it makes for a great closer. This isn't really a concept album, but they do such a good job at bringing everything together, just musically, lyrically. This is practically a perfect album in terms of mental struggles mixed with social struggles all at the same time. I absolutely love this record, especially since I don't really listen to Drug Church all that much and I tend to forget about them. This was an absolute treat going through and also listening to their old stuff as well. There isn't really a huge variety of sounds to be found on this record though, so if you go into it expecting to hear Drug Church doing what they do best, then you're going to be blown away. I will say that the guitar tones do change and they sound fantastic, as do the vocals. They put different effects and they just do different things with them, and it works out so well. This is also only 28 minutes long, so it doesn't really overstay its welcome whatsoever. And the vocals are ever changing along with the lyrics, it sounds like, which are also very relatable and also poetically complex. It's like he figured out what he wanted to say and revised it 3 or 4 times before it actually made it into the song. The bass lines are super fat, the riffs are memorable along with the lead melodies. This is basically everything I could possibly want from this album, including super complex themes that make you think about emotions, social issues, a lot of stuff that we all go through, but not a whole lot of people talk about all that much. So it's really refreshing. And it also makes it feel dark and also lighthearted at the same time. So with all that said, I got to give Prude by Drug Church a 8.6 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. I have a feeling that this album is going to be pretty well received by everybody, including people who aren't even really that familiar with this band. So leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Prude. Let me know what you'd rate it, what your favorite song is. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. It helps out so much with YouTube's algorithm. It will help boost my ability to get out to more people, and it will also keep my videos popping up in your recommended section of YouTube. And if you want to help support me further than that, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon. Doing any of those things helps me out tremendously. And if you decide not to do any of them, and if you watched up to this point, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me just sit here and talk about music. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time.